or want to just automatically subsidize somebody else. And a lot of it does have to do with the economy, but the rest of the equation is who's paying for what, and what are those people's rights in terms of what they should be allowed to get for what they pay. If I go to McDonald's and I'm from Wyndham Township, should I have to pay $2 for something that someone from another town can pay $1 for? I don't think that's equitable. And in this case, I think we have an outstanding education system, and from my standpoint, I'm just looking to see that everyone who attends that school pays what in fact they're getting from it. Thank you.
Jane Nordmark, Chester Borough. I'd like to note that Chester Borough does have a representative on the board, so I don't have a voice. I think that the funding formula is unfair. Ooh, I said it. And I think that one municipality holding 4 other municipalities hostage is unfair. And I think that the right thing for this board to do is give people a vote, just a chance to vote. So I can go to my community and say, I think this is unfair. And that's the fair thing for you guys to do. Let people know. Thank you.
Lisa Woodring, Long Valley. I think a lot of people tonight have good things to say. I know we're all speaking from the heart. I would say that if truly I could believe that this was a vote, that we could all just vote for what we believe and let the people in townships vote and say what they feel. I would say put it on the ballot and let us vote. Let us all say what we believe. Unfortunately, I don't think that is what's going on here. What I think is going on here is basically you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the board puts it on the ballot and Washington Township votes no because their taxes are going up 40%, it's going to be used against us at a later date. We have a board member who's constantly with the Weavers today on this board for the last few years. I think it's pretty transparent what's going on. So don't put it on the ballot, we're in trouble. Put it on the ballot, we're in trouble. Either way, it's not going to be good for the board. So I think you have a really tough decision ahead of you. I wish it was as simple as putting on the ballot, we all get to say what we feel, and whatever the outcome, everyone's happy. But they're not going to be happy either way. So my fear is that if it goes on the ballot and Washington Township votes no, or somehow this doesn't get passed, that it's somehow another piece of the puzzle that can be used to talk about regionalization, which is a mess. And I don't want to fight that here. I don't want to have that talked about in our board meetings. So I'm really fearful about this, and I really think that it's too bad that they're not being transparent. The seniors are not being transparent. I would love someone to tell me what it's all about as well, but I think I know. And no matter what we do, it's not going to be good enough. It's not going to solve any problem. That's just the way I feel about it. And so I guess I would, if I had my vote, I guess I would say also to keep it off the ballot because I think we're endangering our budget. That's the only tiebreaker in my mind is the budget question. So I just think it's no win.
Bruce Slickroft from Mendon. I'm not a member of CBS, and I will tell you that this has been a long-standing issue in the community. And getting it to a vote, I think, is their objective. I don't think there's some nefarious background issue here. I think it's the only way to get the issue out there and make it addressed. So far, all we've proven is 20 years of doing nothing that it needs to get moving forward. And sooner or later, the board and members of Washington Township are going to have to put forth a proposal that's a compromise. But there's no pressure to do that until the community gets involved. And that's why I think the vote's important.
Yeah, I guess I'm really just confused, and maybe that's because I'm starting to get a little tired and hungry. Because I'm only 18, but for the past, I guess, 5 months that I've been on this board, all the issues we've been dealing with have been pertaining to the betterment of my education and my peers' education. we talked about the future contract, we talked about passing the budget, and I'm just confused as to why this meeting beforehand, why this referendum question has taken on the life that it has, because I failed to see how the rush to put this referendum question on this ballot benefits my education in any way, shape, or form.
Cindy Vicuro, Washington Township. I don't know how to say this in all the different towns. I taught in the school system. I was on the Board of Education. I'm a real estate agent that who tries to sell all of their homes. And I see what goes on at different price levels. And I can tell you that I have it right here, and I said this when I was on the board once before. A $490,000 house in Chester Borough, Chester Township, Mendham Borough, Mendham Township will be paying on the average of $2,000 less than a $475,000 house in Washington Township. We are paying a lot of money in taxes on our homes in Washington Township. An $800,000 house in the same area, covering the areas, would be about a $4,000 difference. Why would Washington Township ever vote to increase our taxes that much more? Do you know what that will do to our housing economy in Washington Township? I don't know who you think your neighbors will be.
Happy Trump in the township, I'd like to address Charlie's education. And that is what I'd like for us to do, and I'm going to talk to you the way I used to talk to my kids when I coached them, is I want you to take the intelligence that's in this room right now, and even more importantly, I want us to take the passion that's in this room right now, and I want us to work our butts off to get this budget passed. Let's make each other better so that Charlie's education and every kid that follows Charlie can do what Charlie's going to do in the future.
I think I owe Mr. Noddy.
John Noddy, Long Valley. I'm not saying to put it on, not put it on. This board, as long as I was on it, we always did something with the right amount of information. And I feel like this is being shoved down people's throats to go ahead and do. Every time we did a construction project, every time we put a new program in, we made sure we did our homework before we put it out to the public. That's your voice then to vote. Again, I'm not saying not to put it on. I'm not saying to put it on. I'm just saying, as representatives, you have to do your homework before you put something on a ballot. You don't have somebody else do it for you. You do it for you. You are the people elected. So that means that whether it takes money, and all of the towns, and I've been to a lot of town meetings for this ballot, okay? You never did anything about your homework. I know that for a fact. If not, you have overruns and everything else. We've seen that happen in towns also around here. So guess what? Make sure you do your homework. That's what you're elected to do before you have a vote on something. After you do your homework, then you put it up and you vote, whether you put it on or not put it on. That's the way it works. You have a voice as a public to come here and speak to the board members and voice your opinion. As far as budgets in towns, yeah, you can talk to your town representatives, but if they want to shut you off, they shut you off. I mean, here you vote on the budget. It's been like that forever, as far as I know. So I'm telling you as a board, you're responsible for that action. They will come back and look at you. All these people could be gone. Not here at all. Why did you do that? So make sure that you do your homework, get the information, take the time. I asked Mike the question. He said he wouldn't do it without getting the right information, and then put it on the ballot. It's fine. Get the town fathers together. Let them talk about it. Maybe they'll come up with a better solution that might go through. So I would suggest the board in this situation, that's what you need to do.
Bob White from Long Island. It's apparent that this issue is very important, and it should be removed for the budget that needs to be passed. This process needs to be voted on, this needs to be brought to your attention. If more time needs to be put into it, more information needs to be put out to the public so everybody's aware of what's involved, what the impact is on every community. So, and I agree with this woman here saying, right now the situation is if you put it on, but if you don't put it on, you're game. There's no win situation. The win situation is put it off, have a separate vote for this at a different time, and be fair about it, and then take it to a win-win situation for everybody.
I'm John Vane from Minden Township. And first of all, I am a supporter of CBS, and I would be happy to tell you that I'm a supporter of the budget as well. I have no problem with the budget. But I do have a problem with funding. And I have a problem with some of the disingenuousness that I've heard this evening about the capriciousness and the short window of time. The gentleman who came to the presentation today said in front of everyone here that about 12 years that this has been 16 years since we've had an opportunity to do something about what is perceived clearly by voters at the Menhams and the Chester as a disparity in funding. So we have an opportunity now to give the public a voice about the money. There's going to be a range of opinions. We've heard a range of opinions. We should allow the voters to hear from everyone and make up their own mind. That's the most democratic way I know. There's an NCAA basketball tournament. We've been filled with analogies, obscure literary references, and historical references. An NCAA basketball tournament taking place. Regional tournament starts this weekend. First seed, I think, in the whole NCAA basketball tournament is Ohio State. Why bother playing it? Why don't we just give the trophy to the Ohio State Buckeyes? There's no reason. If those here think that the decision's already been done and this is an exercise in futility, I would say let's call the NCAA and cancel the basketball tournament too. Give the people an opportunity that they haven't had an opportunity to do in, I don't know, a decade. Give us an opportunity to state our opinion about it. Democratic.
Any other questions? I'm going to wait, hold off on you until everybody else is okay.
I think I just want to close your statement with a question and just a further clarification, because for me this has been my first year on the board and I've only been in the district for 4 years. And I understand and I got the assumption through the presentation that this has been an issue for multiple years now. But I think, and what Charlie had said earlier, especially from being on this board, and I've been to nearly every single meeting, despite the fact that this has been an issue, and I can understand where the issue is coming from, we're all having economic problems, the economy is in shambles right now. But I was unaware that of the organization which you're in support of, I was unaware of the issue that's at present until last board meeting. And previous to that, we've had a lot of trouble with what's been going on with the teachers. And as a student, although I'm leaving this year in a few months, I understand from the kids that I walk in the hall with, the budget is extremely important. And we need to make sure that's passed